Fine, so let's do one final relationship. Husband and wife, spouse, partners, and perhaps as well people going through a dating phase. What are the important factors to consider here? I'm sure many of the themes that you've discussed in other relationships will apply here as well. But talk us through some of the most important things to bear in mind.
I mean, obviously, trust and respect. It's hard to come up with new principles just because so much of what we said already has been covered.
Well, what I guess I'd ask is, what are the key? I'm sure in your therapy you deal with people who are having marital issues. What are the biggest sort of issues that you find happening, and what are some of the biggest pitfalls that lead people to get there?
Right. I tell you something that I've seen, interestingly enough, amongst couples that I feel are successfully able to go through therapy and work on themselves with couples therapy and able to build a healthy relationship afterwards is interestingly enough, and we haven't really touched upon this before, but I think it's an important human quality, and it's not talked about enough. It's often humor, a sense of humor. An ability to laugh at oneself in a situation is a very powerful tool. Again, it's not the thing that I would bring up. It's not the top priority. But there's something about a camaraderie between a couple. I've seen couples that have, even if they're fighting with each other and they're angry with each other and at each other's throats, if they have a sense of humor, that they're able to sort of like laugh, almost like a playful quality to their relationship. And of course, this takes time to develop. But I think it's important that they can laugh at each other or laugh at something that's happened. If there's a dimension to their relationship where humor has a place. I think it's a very powerful tool, and it says a lot about the relationship, where the relationship is at. Obviously a relationship where there's criticism and knocking each other down, that's obviously, the basic no-nos, judgment and criticism. Yeah, so that's something that's important. I think you mentioned before about dating and about marriage. The challenge of dating is that you don't really know the person, and they don't know you. And it's not because you haven't spent enough time with each other. It's just that you haven't really seen each other under stress. The nature of marriage is one of stress, whether it's financial stress, if it's stress with health, stress as bringing up children, not having enough sleep, being woken up in the middle of the night, demands. One of the things that's really been highlighted in the whole lockdown period is any vulnerability that's been in a relationship. People have been able to overlook it and overcome it. It's come back to haunt them, so to speak, in lockdown, because there's no room for that. You're spending time with enormous amount of time with your spouse and with your family, and if there are issues there, lockdown has highlighted whatever's been there. If there's been a small crack, it's become bigger. So I would say that one of the challenges of dating is meeting someone, and if anything, it would be if there's any way to engineer some sort of a stress, or if stress develops, I think it's a good idea to see how someone behaves under stress, to see how someone reacts and responds under stress. And you don't see that in dating. Dating is often, laughter and sharing and caring for each other, but it's not real life, and therefore, even people that live with each other, even the couples that live with each other, it's still not real life. There's something about becoming married and building a family with someone that becomes stressful.
But wouldn't you say ultimately, really, the purpose of dating is not to experience those deep, stressful moments? It's really just to build, those positive feelings towards one another, so that you can withstand the stress when it happens in life.
So I lost you. I lost you when you said it isn't the purpose of dating.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So isn't the purpose of dating actually, it's not to really test those stresses and strains of how someone acts. It's actually just to build those positive feelings and love towards one another, so that when you go into the marriage, you can withstand the strain and the stress, because you have those, that warmth of feeling towards the other.
Yeah, definitely. You can't expect more from dating than what you can do. Obviously. But I'm just pointing out for many of the people that might be listening to this that there is a difference, obviously, between dating and marriage. A marriage is not going to look like what your dating looks like. For us who are married, that's obvious. But for people who are dating, it's not so obvious. A marriage is a totally different a ballpark, totally different scenario. But as you say, dating is looking for the positives and the do I respect this person? Can I, do we is there mutual care and support and love that we can build something on?
And what are the most important, things to bear in mind when a relationship does come under those strains and stresses, especially once both people are married?
It's very difficult to say, because I'm seeing clients that are under an unusual. We're not talking about those. They're at the end of the spectrum. If someone has come to couples counseling, they're usually at a very serious stage in their relationship, where they're either contemplating divorce or the relationship is in a very bad place. It's people's tendency to leave things to fester. People don't often have the foresight to really stop their busy lives and the resources that are involved in investing in their relationship until it's too late, often, sadly, unfortunately. So I'm often seeing people in a very bad state in their relationship. You're talking about people who love each other and care for each other, and they've things they're going through a difficult patch, let's say. So obviously, to take time out. We create an environment of where loving, open, honest communication to take place, where there's no criticism and there's no judgment, limited criticism, limited judgment, where each one can really hear the other and listen to the other, to restore that partnership. So that's something that and to do that regularly. There has to be something that's done regularly. People call it a date night, let's say, but time taken out from a hectic, busy schedule. I know in today's day and age, it's almost impossible to do that, but it's essential to carve out space whereby the couple can, sharpen the saw, when they can hear each other and touch base with each other, keep their finger on the pulse of the relationship, things just not allowing things to fester. What bothers, things that bother each other, and to air it out and discuss and to speak to each other about it in a loving, mutual, respectfully dynamic. Otherwise, a few years down the line, and it's sometimes difficult to repair, sadly.
Well, Rabbi, I think this was really, really insightful, our conversation that we've had. I think our viewers are going to gain a lot from this. Perhaps some topics people will find more helpful than others, but I think you shared a lot of really, really important insights. And thank you so much, Rabbi Yoni Hamilton, for joining us. It's really greatly appreciated.
Ollie, thank you so much. So nice to see you again, and keep well and keep safe.
Thank you so much.
To stay up to date with JTV content, click subscribe here if you're on YouTube and hit the alarm bell. And if you're on Facebook, hit the like button and under following, click see first. If you enjoy watching JTV content and want to help us continue to grow, please consider making a donation to us by clicking here.